This right here, I think, is the perfect representation of the left seeking violence against the right. It just lovingly backfires against them, as right now there is sadly a lot of violence in our political discourse, as of course some choose words, some choose more violent actions, as things are definitely getting strange to say the least, as the political space is becoming more and more unsafe, with the latest battles now being internally with right-wing figures fighting right-wing figures, as well as Alex Jones came out and says if anything happens to Megyn Kelly or Tucker Carlson, the neocons are, quote, in big trouble. All of this as MTG is also reporting very significant threats and a lot of issues, especially after Donald Trump went after her, as of course he continued to go after her in a very blatant type of attack during this interview that's very eye-opening, to say the least here. What's really behind all of this, especially the internal right-wing fighting, as of course there's a lot of big money also being moved around here, as Mark Levin sees this as the perfect opportunity to go after these individuals, as really I think Alex Jones here is actually the most rational voice in the room. There's a reason there's jars saying he was right here, as of course I think we could pinpoint some kind of policies from MTG that definitely put the target on her back. We'll be going over that and a lot more in this type of controversial video. And if you appreciate these type of conversations, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you, of course, spend with us. Now, the left overwhelmingly has been infatuated with violence, threats of violence. They revel in it. They love it. They rarely ever face consequences for it. There's been a huge kind of gaslighting effort showing how a lot of the people on the left are just allowed and excused to threaten people. For the first time in a long time, there's a little bit of consequences. But we have to understand we're still living in a political discourse where sadly a lot of people are just resorting towards threats, towards forms of harassment and intimidation. And overwhelmingly, those calls have been from the left. Now, it looks like there is a faction of the right that's trying to copy the homework of the left in order to intimidate, to scare, and to bring on violence. And whether they're doing it knowingly or unknowingly, I don't think it matters. I think the truth matters here more than anything else. And it does need to be noted, in my own personal opinion, these type of wildish, absolutely crazy, radicalized type of behavior, saying, you don't agree with me, so you must be a lover of that funny mustache guy. You must be a German from the 1930s. We know it's a ridiculous notion. The left has done it. The left has used violence on it. And now they're doing it against individuals like Brett Cooper, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, MTG, and a lot of other individuals. As of course, Alex Jones just came out and says, listen, there are serious threats right now with a lot of people targeting Tucker, targeting Megyn Kelly. And listen, I think the establishment right knows exactly what they're doing, right? They know that a lot of these radicals that have committed violence against individuals like the President of the United States, Charlie Kirk, and many others, and there are many others that have been affected by this, they know that one thing that unifies them, like they're Germans from the 1930s. We have to stop all Germans from the 1930s. And this right here needs to stop, as of course the threat level has gone up significantly.
I know Tucker and Ben both. They are both under serious threats. Like, to be honest, I am too. Like, this is a very volatile time. I don't like to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. But I'm just saying, I know both of them are under serious threats. So just put a lid on it, Mark Levin, because I guarantee you, the wrong people listen to that, and we could have another powder keg on our hands, and you don't want that. You don't want that on your conscience. Just have a debate like a man on principle. And why don't you show up at the Turning Point event and debate him? Just debate him. That would be so good for this conservative movement you claim to love so much.
Exactly. And a lot of the establishment, right, is using very dehumanizing language, especially Mark Levin. They're just talking about the filth. That mustache guy, filth. I won't debate them. I'm like, oh, man, how do you really feel?
You know who's at the Turning Point events? Future conservatives and current conservatives, young people. Young people, this would be a chance for you to influence somebody under the age of 70. You should show up there and debate. Why wouldn't you debate? He's so disgusting you can't debate him. I can see not debating Nick Fuentes, to be honest. I can. But Tucker, he's so far outside the mainstream. All the Jewish friends I have in my head who text me all the time, like this is my father. They would all debate Tucker. They would love to debate Tucker. They've got their facts ready to go all day. Why won't he do it? And why is he sounding like a leftist shill with his rhetoric, just trying to dismiss people as like these horrible, bigoted people who you can't even stand next to them on a stage? This is not good for America First or the conservative movement, and it's manna from heaven for progressives.
Yep, she's not wrong.
Gonna have dessert with you.
Now, and then Alex went on and talked about how he had a very kind of weird relationship with Megyn Kelly. He had Max Blumenthal on, and the two discussed this type of amplified situation. As now, MTG's coming out and saying, yeah, there are significant threats against my life. As he responded, Alex Jones, by saying, could be a Democratic Party false flag. Regardless, President Trump needs to turn down the heat. And a lot of other people are saying, God bless you, MTG. And Roger Stone said, send pizzas to me. As there's a form of doxing and a form of harassment, intimidation, we're going to talk about in a little bit, that happens to a lot of people. Happened to me a bunch of times as well. We'll get into that and a lot more. But before we do, we wanted to tell you about wearechange.shop. We now have the Sun Force bundle. For $55, you get to save a good amount of money. As of course, we just launched our premium vitamin D plus K2 with extra virgin olive oil and magnesium glycinate. Magnesium usually is used to activate vitamin D. Lots of people have very low vitamin D levels, and they're like, why does my vitamin D levels keep being low? What? You don't mix it with fat. That's why we put extra virgin olive oil into our vitamin D supplement. What I recommend doing, what I do now, as soon as we got these bad boys, right now, I'm taking vitamin D in the morning with my meal, with eggs and onions and kimchi and all this other stuff. I try to eat as healthy as I can now. I gained like a lot of pounds recently too, which I'm not too proud of. Anyway, and I've been getting sick a lot, and I'm like, oh, what's my vitamin D levels? Oh yeah, they're low. Everyone makes mistakes. Again, I like to cycle on and off of different stuff. I like to try to naturally do stuff, but a lot of the times I just need supplementation. This is my routine right now that is amazing and awesome. As of course, you don't just need fat to activate vitamin D. You need K2 to make sure it doesn't clog your arteries. Make sure if you have a vitamin D supplement, right, double check that it has K2. Another thing, you need magnesium. Lots of people are deficient in magnesium and they take vitamin D supplement. Why is my vitamin D not working? Why is the supplement not working? That's because your magnesium's low. Magnesium glycinate I take with my last meal of the day. Sun Force vitamin D I take with my first meal of the day, and it creates a combo where they work really well together. And that's why we created this amazing, incredible bundle, our magnesium glycinate, our new Sun Force supplement available now. Wearechange.shop. You got a 2-month supply here. 60 capsules, extra virgin olive oil, and truly, when you look at when you get do the deep dive into vitamin D, and you're going to be shocked. Look at what happened during the Kuf years. Vast majority of those people had low vitamin D. Why? Why? Well, they went into the doctors, and the doctors induced organ failure by accident. Coinkydink. Yeah, right. Wearechange.shop. Check it out. We just launched our new bundle. Click it right here. We've got so many great, amazing products. Back order on the creatine. I apologize. There's a global shortage. We could get the cheap stuff now from China. I refuse to do that. We make sure we get the best stuff. So that's why it's on back order. Apologies for you guys. I would get it still. We're working as fast as we can to get it back up. But my goodness, it is just an absolute crazy situation. Now, the crazy situation also is happening with MTG. As she says, the Hoke Pizza deliveries have started now to my house and to my family members. We also received a pipe bomb threat on my construction company's office building. President Trump's unwarranted and vicious attacks against me were a dog whistle to dangerous radicals that could lead to serious attacks on me and my family. Unfortunately, I've been down this road before. As a matter of fact, I campaigned all over the country and defended President Trump. I received dozens of swatting calls. Lots of people on the right have and are. And the MO is like, hey, we're not going to tell anybody about this. Okay. And that's what a lot of people are doing. On my call, my family members home along with these hoax pizza deliveries. The pizza deliveries are to show you, like, hey, we know where you live. And then the pizza guy shows up. There's like, okay, you got to pay for this pizza. And then they get pissed off because they're like, okay, we'll pay cash. They call in and they use fake devices, fake SIM cards. Some of them have been tracked back to the Chinese. Are the Chinese trying to sow division amongst the right, which is mainly a populist type of right that is being pushed back against? She goes on, but even more severely, I have received some of the most death threats of any member of Congress that led to multiple men being convicted and serving time in prison. All of that came from the left. Now that President Trump has called me a traitor, which is absolutely untrue and horrific, Mark Levin has been calling me a traitor, and so have other prominent, likely paid social media activists. Yeah. Big money. A lot of big money moving hands, by the way. Not a coincidence. A lot of that money is moving hands with individuals that are like, yes, we have to stop MTG, which is just ridiculous. Wow. This puts blood in the water and creates a feeding frenzy, and it could ultimately lead to a harmful or even deadly outcome. Also, yeah, politics is getting ridiculously dangerous. As a lot of people are saying, Joe Rogan's kind of trying to take a step away from it, as he's realizing how dangerous and how crescendoing it is to a point of no return. Quote, also, the timing of this just happens to be days before we take the vote on releasing the Epstein files. I love America and the American people, and I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution and always do so. I am not a traitor. However, when the President of the United States irresponsibly calls a member of Congress of his own party traitor, he is signaling what must be done to a traitor. That's true. It is kind of reckless language by Trump. As many people on the right were like, Trump, what are you doing, bro? She had your back. She says she loves you. And you're like tearing it all apart because she wants powerful billionaires, predators to be exposed in the Epstein list. She also released text messages between her and the White House and Trump, allegedly, that are pretty eye-opening. Quote, I fought harder than anyone to help President Trump get elected, and I support his administration and the promises we made on the campaign. I am a Republican in good standing and have paid all of my dues to the NRCC. My voting record is one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, and I'm very proud of that. The toxic and dangerous rhetoric in politics must end. We must be healing in this country for all of America. As Donald Trump was just asked, hey, MTG is saying her life is in danger. This is how Trump responded.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Trader Greene.
Marjorie Trader Greene.
I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
I don't think anyone cares. I mean, those are very stinging words. It's like MTG's literally on the view being like, I love you, Trump. I love Trump. Let's not attack Trump. We love Trump. Trump's innocent. And now Trump kind of like went hard at her.
Okay, what about you?
Okay, what about you? And they kind of moved on here as Donald J. Trump also came out and released the Truth Social saying, wacky Marjorie Trader Brown. Remember, green turns to brown when there's rot involved. Like, this is like childhood type of like sandbox insults, is working overtime to try to portray herself as a victim when in actuality she's the cause of all of our own problems. The fact is, nobody cares about this traitor to our country. Again, traitors get that's not good here. As Mark Levin sees blood in the water and he's like, yeah, and he came out and says, who kept platforming Marjorie Trader Greenie? Which podcasters, which hosts? I kind of want to platform her now. I might DM her and be like, yo, let's do an interview. As Clint Russell says, they're trying to deplatform MTG, as you should stop talking to your own representative because what? She demanded the Epstein files be released. These people that Trump listens to think how crazy that is. Yeah, that is pretty wild. That is pretty crazy, as of course now the kind of feeding frenzy kind of began here. I want to find the text messages that MTG released here, which I thought was interesting because when Trump originally kind of came after her, she came out and said this: President Trump just attacked me and lied about me. I haven't called him at all, but I did send these text messages today. Apparently, this is what sent him over the edge, the Epstein files. And of course, he's coming after me hard to make an example to scare all the Republicans before next vote to release the Epstein files. Trump today came out and said, just release the Epstein files. It's astonishingly really hard how he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out, that he actually goes to this level. But really, most Americans wish he would fight this hard to help the forgotten men and women who are fed up with foreign wars and foreign causes, are going broke trying to feed their families, and are losing hope of ever achieving the American dream. That's what I voted for. I have supported President Trump with much of his precious time, too much of my own money, and fought harder for him when almost all the Republicans turned their back and denounced him. But I don't worship or serve Donald Trump. I worship God. Jesus is my savior, and I serve my district, Georgia 14, and the American people. I remain the same as I've always been, and continue to pray this administration will be successful because the American people just really deserve what they voted for. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are saying for. And this is the text message between her and Donald Trump saying, check the flight logs of Epstein's plane. Bill Clinton is on there like 26 times. Hillary too. For many of us, releasing the Epstein files has always been for the women who were victims of Jeffrey Epstein, but also because we believe that Democrat bad guys, the Clintons, were entangled and involved with him. Epstein was the spider that wove the web of the deep state. Lean into it. And it looks like there's a text message between Natalie saying the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And she says, in every single interview I have done, I have defended President Trump. I said over and over, the women say he did nothing wrong and that their attorney says he's the only one who helped. That's true. That is very true. And the Democrats had 4 years to release the files, but did nothing. Stop ignoring the women. Many of them literally voted for President Trump and say so publicly. Them being hurt as teenagers is, quote, not a hoax. It goes farther than that. It's children here. And of course, there is an attempt to demonize MTG, and a lot of people are jumping on it, as well as Thomas Massey, as well as Roy Khan, as well as Megyn Kelly, as well as anyone who kind of stands in the way. But let's be honest with ourselves. I think a lot of these people are better representatives of the base than anyone else. Alex Jones came out and says, listen, you shouldn't be attacking MTG this aggressively. She's one of the original MAGA supporters, and this could trigger a kind of civil war that destabilizes your presidential agenda. And he's right.
And saw the tens of thousands of emails and saw all these Democrat billionaires and all these people. And then she's not able to release it yet because they haven't voted to do it. And then she's pissed at Trump, and then she's released the text messages. Sir, you're not in it. What's your problem? She knows he sold out. And then they turned around and screwed him. And boy, the total Trump supporters, when I do that, they're on me. Because I'm calling balls and strikes, dummies. She has morals. I'm giving Trump a limited pass in that he's not involved. I get the Machiavellian thought. I don't agree with it. But they believe it'll crash the stock market. This comes out, well, they did it anyways. And I predicted 6 months ago and 5 months ago and 4 months ago and 3 months ago and a month ago. And I said, when they screw you, Trump, when you help them.
Yeah, and listen, he wasn't the only one. We were saying the same exact thing. We were saying, hey, Trump, you got to get a lead on this. If you don't get a lead on this, this is going to backfire tremendously. And this is going to be a political rallying call for the left, as well as your detractors. And you're giving them a lot of ammunition against yourself. Stop it. Stop it immediately. The people you're protecting are not worth protecting. And that's the kind of understanding. It's like, oh yeah, he's protecting the Bill Gateses of the world because Bill Gates will invest. That's one theory. There's multiple theories. We did previous videos trying to understand everything, trying to comprehend everything, and give you kind of the lowdown of all the different possibilities here. But this is definitely one of them that is the most realistic one.
Them covered it up. And then they turn around and blame you with innuendo. You better then turn the DOJ loose, except the DOJ won't follow his orders. And that's why he went ahead and went past. Plus, the Democrats had the files forever. As he said, they took out all the stuff. Then you come out and you tell people in in-depth fireside chats as much as they need to hear it. Because I already know, dude. God, if Trump listened to me, but instead he listens to Susie Wiles and these other people that are there to set him up and embarrass him and get all their money and power.
Ice Maiden is her name, who previously worked with Bibi Netanyahu and is alleged to have worked with a lot of lobbyists and special interest groups representing, of course, Big Pharma.
And then destroy the MAGA movement while they act like loyalists and cue the whole thing up to make sure the Democrats win in 3 years. That's what all of this is, and we all know it.
Listen, that's what a lot of people believe it to be, and there's a very compelling case and argument for it, whether we like it or not. I think a lot of the attacks are pretty crazy. Listen, Bibi said we're going to launch a big social media campaign. I think this is a part of it. And why is she being targeted and attacked? Well, she's literally on the House floor calling for amendments to cut funding to Israel. If you're Israel, you're like, we're going to finance this. We're going to make sure we take her out because she's not a friend to that one country. And that's one of the things that divides a lot of the right. And it's a very divisive issue that I wish would just go away because it's fracturing us actually achieving things great for this country. And if you agree, share this video. What do you think? Do the attacks against MTG, are they warranted or not? Let me know down in the comments section below. Thank you so much for supporting independent media. Sorry again about the creatine. I mean, like, listen, we're very, like, careful. Where do we get it? Germany. Best stuff on the market. Don't get the stuff from China. Someone's selling it right now. Where do they tell you they get it? Again, boost up that immune system, vitamin D, magnesium. Can't recommend it enough. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.